Hello, I want to talk today about how different temperaments talk and write, particularly about the length of their talking and writing. For sanguine, they are so long. The way they talk, the way they write. I want to note here that people usually talk the way they write or write the way they talk. So if somebody talks so long, they also write long. If they talk short, they write short. So let's start with sanguine. Sanguines, they talk a lot, they narrate the entire story, they skip the details, and they skip the maybe salient important points, but they go around and round and round in the way they talk. So they might be talking and talking and talking. And most importantly, when a sanguine talk, you notice that they move from going to the farm, to a project in Yaoundé, to a wedding. That means in one sentence can say, my friend, do you know we're going to go to the farm tomorrow? And then they now say, oh, I was looking at a visa to go to America yesterday. Do you know about that? Our neighbor who used to be in Caricom, he's getting married next month. So it's three sentences, three different things. So they know how to go in between different things. That makes it very long. And at the end, if you talk with a sanguine for long, you'll notice they've said like about everything. And sometimes some people will say about nothing. So you might not be able to pick what was the discussion about, because you will virtually discuss about everything, little of everything. That's how sanguines talk. The salient, the basic, the little details, they are not there. They just go around different stories, many stories. Besides, they always have the stories, really many of them. Sometimes I joke that I don't know how sanguines get all the G's, but one of my younger stories, a sanguine says, this G's even comes and meets them in the bedroom. Even if they don't go looking for the stories, people know they like it, so they'll call them right in their bedroom, they're going to get the story. What about the choleric? A choleric talks and writes very long. But one thing is different from the way a choleric talks and writes from what the sanguine did. The choleric does a lot of repetition. The choleric, like, let's go get this project. And then he says again, like, I bet you people it's very important for us to win this project because that's our company and your salaries depend on it. And then the choleric still says that this project is the lifeline of our future investment. And then he still says this same project, I think if this project goes, so it's like saying the same thing 10 different times. So when you say choleric, it's like it's a long talker. At the end of the day, one thing that people accuse me a choleric of saying is that you already said it. So, and I noticed when I sat down to look at it, like, even when I do videos, sometimes I notice that, oh, I said the same thing like 1, 2, 3. So that's how our brain works, and it's for emphasis. Remember, they're goal-oriented. So once they get the goal, the vision, they are not tired of telling you the same thing 100 times, if that is what it takes to digest. However, statistics has also shown that repetition leads to people getting it. So you can be able to say, my boss used to say, we must get this project done, because your boss would have said that same sentence, if it's a choleric, in a week, 100 times. So cholerics are long, they are loud, and they are repetitive. That makes it so they write the same thing, say the same thing over and over. So if you look at their exam papers with sanguine, that the people who want to ask for supplementary C, they want to say more. What about the melancholy? The melancholy, I always say that there's no way melancholists will not perform well in school. They are detailed, like they say every word about the meeting. When we got to the meeting, Mr. Joe took the first step. When he finished, he sat down in front, and his assistant, who was seated right behind him, stood up to remind him that he forgot the second point on the agenda. And the CEO reminded that last week there was like everything on that minute. I usually say when a mail takes a minute, you can virtually feel you were in that meeting, because they are so detailed, and they are most importantly very coherent in the way they speak. You remember they have very long memory, so they don't easily forget what they were saying. Because the sanguine might like, what did I say again? And then it goes to the next topic because they forget quick. But the melancholy is consistent, is detailed, and the way they write, the way they speak. And when it comes to writing again, oh, the males, their writing is so neat and ordered. The same way they're orderly, the same way their writing is. So there's no way a lecturer or teacher starts marking and doesn't see what they are saying. Because sometimes sanguines write, in addition to the story going around everywhere, you can't even read the writing. Or her cholerics might also be repeating the same thing. But when a male writes, it's detailed, it's consistent, it's coherent. I just repeated the same thing. For sure, I'm a choleric. What about the flag? The flag, somebody says they say as little as possible on earth. And they also write as little as possible on earth. And they also do what? They also do as little as possible on earth. If a flag, this is her taking minutes. The meeting went well, and we resolved that next month there will be a second meeting and the project will continue. That's in 4 lines. They are done with the minutes. That is what the other temperament will do in a page. So the phlegmatic, if there's something that must not be there, or that is hyperbole, like saying, I usually say that phlegmatics will never have hyperbole because they will not even use the word twice. Talk less of adding a single word. In fact, that additional word feels like it's going to take energy from them. So they will not say anything or add any word that is going to add anything or add space or take away energy from them when that word has nothing to add in that minute. So everyone talks and writes the way that